Today we're going to talk about one of the things that everybody wants to talk about: when and if you should buy a house. And here with us today is Mark Matthews, and he's got some of the answers. And Mark, you know what? When I was growing up, that was the thing you did. You bought a house. You didn't want to rent. You wanted to buy a house because they would always say, you're spending all your rent and you're not getting anything back from it. But if you buy a house, at least you're buying equity into that place that you're living in.
And that's one of the benefits of having a house, buying a house, is building equity. One of the trade-offs for that is that, that equity is relatively illiquid, meaning you can't just write a check and tap it unless you've already arranged for home equity loan or something like that behind your mortgage if you have one to buy your home. And that's one of those things that's kind of a thing to weigh is having a home that important to me that I might sacrifice moving towards some other goals, whether it's retirement or travel or, paying off other debts. And so that's what the big question I wanted to bring up today is, home equity is nice to have, but you may have some priorities before that, like paying off student loans, paying off other debts, building for retirement. That really should never stop, because someday you're going to want to retire. And so, you may have heard the term house poor,
Right.
where,
Yep.
you've got a lot of house, maybe some equity, but that's where all your money is. And if
Yep.
you needed to, do a $2,000 car repair, maybe you're pressed for that because you don't have any liquid cash.
Right, right. Now, and again, when you talk about house poor, when you're searching for a house, I take it there's a lot of factors that you have to look into it too. You just don't want to sit there and say, I really want to live in a $300,000 house. You got to go within your budget and kind of work through that as well, correct?
That's a good point. And I would say that, most people should think pretty hard, just because someone will loan you X amount of dollars doesn't mean you should borrow X amount of dollars.
Right.
Maybe you should borrow somewhat less than that to have a payment that you can live with and still pay off other bills, have some fun, that sort of thing. Otherwise, you can be house poor where, you can afford to make your house payment and hopefully your taxes and insurance and upkeep. And after that, you're eating beans and rice, as they say.
Well, yeah, they used to say when you buy a new car, are you going to be tied to living inside that car once you buy it too?
Yeah.
So,
same idea.
But people will have a lot of questions, Mark, and they can come and talk to you, which is always a great resource to have.
Absolutely.
And so how do they get a hold of you, Mark?
I tell folks the quickest, easiest way is to go to edwardjones.com and plug in your city or zip code, and our system there will direct you to several branches within your kind of sphere of activity there very quickly and easily, any time of the day or night.
Mark, great advice, and you will be there if people need some help with purchasing a house.
Will.
All right. Mark Matthews, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. See you later.
All right. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.